The time is 1:32 p.m., May 30th, 2025. So the New Hampshire compound is no more, okay? This is one, I can't say how many compounds the Russian military had in the United States. I can say that New Hampshire and the S3 are some of the worst ones. There's states like New Mexico. Oh God, it's as bad. So some of the, all right? I cannot talk one word about the compounds that the Russian military, Vladimir Putin's evil military, you remember who they are. It's not the good guys. Set up. And I'm going to get this over, okay? This 1 point fast. And I'm going to put this on Instagram so they don't hack this shit. These compounds, including Washington, D.C., are so violent, unspeakable violence. It takes the most skilled special elite forces to take them down. The one in upstate New York was so dangerous. The utmost. I mean, they came in to overthrow and attack and take over our nation. One of the worst militaries you ever want to end up in conflict with, the Russian military. They attacked their own military members, okay? They started doing it in Russia. They had the stuff set up here. It took Russian, it took Chinese, it took U.S., like crazy good guys. It didn't, and it could not be handled any other way. And it has taken years. So my conniptions I have about this going on for as long as it has in my country, 7 years, is sorry, I stutter, is true, is real. But the facts of this are to take down all these compounds that are that dangerous, along with the whole structure that was in place since 1992. I often try to figure out why did this go on until they were literally attacking bases after Donald Trump was inaugurated, and they started trying to literally blow up U.S. bases. These U.S. good guys that I'm speaking about, they know he's back down there. Why couldn't they do something before that? There's solid, huge reasons for it. They were getting ready to be bombed, my heroes, and they were ready to fight. But tables were drastically turned. And all this intel, locations, and that has my name behind it. Yeah, I played a role in changing the course of history. Yes, I did. It's facts on paper. But what I didn't know was how long this would have to take to get that man out of the White House again, to get Putin basically under arrest. Putin is good for nothing, praise God. Let the Russian military handle him. It's another country, etc., etc. So I'm in America. I'm going to help the good guys internationally, all right, and domestically, nationally, do what they need to do. Let the good guys, the U.S. good guys, handle Trump. I play a role, folks, in American history. Yeah, I know I do. Okay, so yay. But that's not what I'm saying. What I want to say to the public is why this was so dragged out. Because it can't be easy. It's something this violent and massive to just hurt and kill so many people across so many countries around the world couldn't be shut down as fast as I had hoped for. So that is what I'm saying when I am telling the public about the New Hampshire compound. There was multiple compounds across America. One by one, they get shut down. This one in DC is their precious one. Yeah. And look who's in it, me. Ha ha ha. I know, that's God. We'll talk about the shocking facts of that another day. The Capitol, right, the presidents and all that. So we'll talk about that another time. It is a big point to see, yes, but the danger and the experience that it requires to shut it down is the running story. And at the end of the day, that's what all of you will remember in our American history, was who did that. Who were these guys that shut these compounds down? They're historic, and they're, to me, holy men. Yeah, they're holy men. So the New Hampshire compound, I can't get into a lot of details, but I know a lot of details about it, had the same format. Where, forgive me for the funny words I use to describe, but at least I'm communicating the point. Okay, so the New Hampshire compound had the same format of multiple different houses spread out throughout an area, a small area that consisted of a handful of miles, okay? The New Hampshire compound is in the woods. It's mostly got a lot of wooded areas, which is very similar to the New York upstate. Those two were like twins, but I won't get into details of that right now because it's overwhelming to the listener. Just absolute death there, all right? They're taking over regions, small, within a handful of miles together, and you have to be one of the most skilled special force operators to go in and do all the stuff and things they do to get to the finish line of it's shut down. The leaders of the compound are dead. The houses are empty. It's shut down. But what I want to get to, okay, 7 minutes, perfect, is this. The New Hampshire compound consisted of the Russian military, Navy fleets. Fleet, F-L-E-E-T, is the word here. Massive attacks, massive important people in this compound, important everything from A to Z. Navy. Okay. Oh God, it makes your heart beat and you breathe. Oh, what they were doing. Okay, and they're still to a certain degree doing it at some of these compounds, okay? The New Hampshire compound is no more. As I talk, I'm so glad. I want to go and look like a tourist at this, but this is a funny thing to say. Absolutely not. They had a lot of houses, and where these Russian men, they were white. Oh, dangerous as it gets. You can't get any more. They're it. It required the most incredible special forces to kill them, and they were killed. They're all dead. And so I can just do this. I'm going to do a quick bit, and we can definitely discuss these compounds later. The New Hampshire compound had flat screen TVs where that commander was in his house, and he used those flat screen TVs on a different screen where there's no image. It's all just light color of. It's a very good example is when you take your maps on your Google Maps or any sort of map and you remove the satellite vision, the colors, take everything like that out, and that's what these Navy men used. And they ran full-on fleets from New Hampshire compound. Navy fleets. They had thugs, American thugs that were like very, very, very dangerous. Some of them were Russian. They're both dual, D-U-A-L, don't get me on spelling, dual citizen. I can spell better, but my recall. So some of them were U.S. citizens. They had everything. Now, the Russian military doesn't miss a beat. So if they have a dual citizen, he's there for a reason, and they have somebody that they need. When they have the primary citizen, the American citizen, but he's right there with them, like second in command. They have him there for a reason. They have as many as they need, just set in place. Check, 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 check. They check all the checks off the list. The good guys do the same thing, okay? It's nothing you want to ever mess with. The Russian, Putin's military was, and there's still some around, but they were so horrible to be in combat with. It took here, my personal experience, it took the most, I keep saying it, the most skilled elite special ops from different countries, okay? All right, because it's international terrorist cells, so they're bringing in, like I've said, they're bringing in Japan. These are the legitimate Japanese military that work with the Russian military that was attacking Russia from the US. Right. Okay, so let's stick to the New Hampshire compound. The New Hampshire compound did not have a lot of Japanese. Yeah, they did because of the Navy, but not visible. They had agents that acted for Japan, but not visible Japanese like you're at a sushi restaurant, okay? They had the Russian and the Americans were all white. It's extremely within the race barrier. It was white, and it was a white nationalist, white terrorist compound. The only individuals that you would see that were not white were women, and they were also American, and they were like these dyke women, these dyke lesbians. Now hold on, let me describe this. They directly worked with the Mexican drug cartel. There was only like 2 of them. They were, once again, American. They were not Hispanic or Latina from overseas, American born and bred. And they worked with the drug cartel, but yes, they did only the prostitution. That was their designated role. But when you're in a terrorist compound that's structured, that is a Russian terrorist compound, you're definitely way more privy to just prostitution. But that's the only link that these Latina dyke women, don't get me on the dyke, I'm just saying what they looked like, but they were dyke because I'll finish the point when I say a slander word that they had, okay? They didn't have anything else. It was all white. And the town, there's still some people in that area in New Hampshire that are lost, dazed, and confused, and they're the most hardened white nationalist, some of them in America. We'll get to all this stuff later, okay? I'm at 12 minutes, gotta go, bye.